fresh from his nap.
It's all the way up.
You can't get it. You find a way, it'll go. Huh? You gonna try that now?
They just sit out there and watch. Once in a while, it's in.
For your son's training, their drill instructors. I'd also ask that you hold your applause until all the introductions are complete. Direct your attention to the platoon to your left. The drill instructors of platoon 2064 are senior drill instructor Virginia Beach, Virginia, along with drill instructor Staff Sergeant Alan Hall from Tampa, Florida, drill instructor Sergeant William Johnson from North Aspaqua, New York, and Sergeant Andre Daniels from Leslie, Illinois. The drill instructors from platoon 2068 are senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Harry Bush.
Well, I'm gonna go back down now.
Little bulldog. How do you do it? Since he's been doing, I'm just going to do it.
Hash mark, a Marine Bulldog. Oh. Sick 'em. Get 'em, boy.
We would like to offer a special welcome to Mr. Charles Duncan, the Special Assistant to the Secretary of Defense for White House Liaison.
Hey.
For the convenience of everyone attending the ceremony, we request that you take a seat in the bleachers and remain in the bleachers until the ceremony is completed. Thank you for your cooperation. The graduation ceremony is the culmination of the recruit training process and marks the transition from recruit to United States Marine. I will briefly explain the ceremony that you are about to see. The company will begin with the graduating company marching into position on the parade ground. When in position, the platoons will salute the commander of troops, indicating that the parade is formed. The battalion commander will take his position and receive the salute of the formation. Those recruits being honored will come forward, and the battalion commander will present the award. Upon completion of the presentation, they will march off to the left of the battalion commander for the remainder of the ceremony. The platoons will then pass into review, at which time I will introduce the company teams. The platoons will then be dismissed, and the new Marines may join their visitors in front of the bleachers. Following the graduation, all guests and Marines are encouraged to attend the reception behind the reviewing stand. Refreshments will be served, and the drill instructors of our graduating platoons and various officers of the command will be present and pleased to meet you. The awards being given to those recruits who are deserving of special recognition are as follows. First, the Company Honor Graduate Award. This is awarded to one Marine in each company. The recipient of this award is one who demonstrates a high degree of discipline, proficiency, bearing, and physical fitness. Certainly, leadership traits that exemplify the highest standards of the United States Marine Corps. Second, the Platoon Honor Graduate Award. The #1 Marine in each graduating platoon will receive the Commanding General's Medal and a Certificate of Commendation in recognition of the... The staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion. The commander of troops is Major Raymond Lashir. The Marine marching across the parade ground is Captain William Vineyard. He is the parade adjutant and will very shortly give the command to begin the ceremony. His position when he halts indicates where the right flank of the formation will rest. Once positioned, he will draw a sword and supervise the placement of the formation. including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication and tradition, and no Marine trained here forgets the sights and sounds of it. Ladies and gentlemen, marching onto the parade ground is Company E. They began their training on 28 November 1995, and today's ceremony marks the end of a demanding and difficult 11 weeks of training for them. These young men you see marching before you today have met and mastered the challenge of recruit training. They have qualified with the service rifle, trained with both individual and crew-served weapons, and mastered the skills of the basic rifleman. They have completed over 200 hours of academic instruction and participated in a rigorous physical training program that has developed their strength and stamina for the challenges ahead. Close order drill has instilled in them a sense of team spirit, self-discipline, and obedience to orders. Marching before silence. From this day on, they'll be known as Marines.
Got it. I still can't see him, but I think he's in the picture. Hard to tell on the camera. Is he on the end, Ben?
Yeah.
This end?
The DIs are blocking him out now.
adjutant now presents a command to the commander of troops, indicating that the parade is formed. Ladies and gentlemen, the chaplain of the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Roger Bauman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prayer offered at each recruit graduation is written by the religious lay leaders of the graduating company. The Recruit Religious Lay Leader program here at Parris Island is designed to train interested individuals to assist with worship and religious education programs, both volunteer in basic training and after graduation. The prayer for this graduation ceremony was written by the lay leaders of Echo Company. Ladies and gentlemen, please now rise for the invocation. Thank you for reuniting us with our families on this day of celebration. Thank you for taking us through all the trials and tribulations of recruit training and for never leaving us nor forsaking us. You gave us the courage for overcoming all the obstacles set in our path. You healed our wounds from the Paradise Island sand fleas. We also like to thank you for blessing us with the strength and courage to be part of America's 911 fighting force. Lord, we especially thank you for the opportunity to live in this great country called the United States, and for the opportunity to serve in an institution called the United States Marine Corps. Bless also our drill instructors who have been our caretakers and teachers these last 3 months and have taught us courage, honor, and commitment. Now bless us and our families with safety as we leave this place, for we ask it in your most holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Christopher IV.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Brigadier General Humble, the Commanding General of the Marine Corps Recruit Depot and the Eastern Recruiting Region, and on behalf of Colonel Hendricks, Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Regiment, I want to welcome you to Parris Island this morning and to this morning's graduation ceremony. Now, for all you moms and dads and wives here today, I just want you to sit back, because I'm going to try, in 3 related word pictures, to get you to begin to comprehend the meaning of the experience your son has just undergone and what he will undergo. That first picture portrays your son as one of the straggling, the unkempt, and the bewildered group of new recruits who have just arrived here at the depot, and they're standing on the famous yellow footprints. They're still in their civilian clothes. They're en route to their first haircut and bath. They're stumbling, fumbling, they're frightened. They know neither where they're going, why they're here, and they're wondering out loud, how could I have ever decided to do this? And they certainly look nothing like the stuff of which fighting Marines are made. The next picture, well, it's in living color and it's standing right behind you. The same group, only 11 weeks later. You saw him yesterday, folks. Hey, Mom, what did you think? He's leaner, he's fit, he's clean, he's bright-eyed, and he's straight back. They march in perfect unison, their uniforms are crisp, and they respond precisely and willingly to the commands of their DI. They are proud, ladies and gentlemen, and they know exactly where they are going. Now, the third picture, it portrays your son and about a half dozen or so other Marines, but they're in full combat equipment. Your son, he is in the well deck of a ship, sitting off the coast of a hostile shore halfway around the world. But you know, it's plain to see that they are behaving as a professional team as they check and they recheck their equipment. And they go over one last time their assigned responsibilities. But you know, your son's eyebrows raise just a moment because he sees the gunny coming and he's issuing out live ammunition. And he knows the rumor is true. It's real. It's no longer a drill. Then the word comes, and the next word they hear is load. And as your son exits the well deck to move aboard the helicopters, they're already turning on the flight deck. As he he enters the bird in the darkness that only can be found at sea, something happens. As he takes his seat and as he buckles up, though there is not any talking now because of the roar of the helicopters turning on the flight deck of that ship, each Marine in that helicopter takes a quick look at his buddy. And as they take a quick glance at each other, they seem to know intuitively that this day, just as Henry V said so eloquently, "For he who fights with me this day will be my brother."
Battery's low.
And that is an eloquent testimonial to our Corps, that it is one of a kind, and its product is proudly named a Band of Brothers Marines. Now, your sons have been subjected to a Spartan regiment, dedicated to this difficult task of becoming a Marine. The raw iron you sent, we transformed it by the forge of Paris Island into a finely tempered blade of steel, framed the way we strive to live and act as Marines. Your new Marine, your son, now epitomizes what is good about our nation, as he strives to be a Marine, achieving the highest standard of excellence in each and everything he does. Yes, these Marines before you, they have succeeded, and they know it. Their whole future will be enhanced by what they have gained here, and I like to think so will your families. Before I conclude, I have to recognize the contributions made by two special groups of Marines, without whose efforts this graduation would not have been possible. First, the recruiters, some of whom are here today, most of whom continue to work in towns and cities throughout the United States, searching for those individuals, just like your son, capable of taking up the challenge of recruit training. In fact, he looked your son over well before his arrival here today. Without these dedicated Marines, there could be no Paris Island, and we recognize and we do greatly appreciate their efforts. And finally, to the officers and drill instructors of Company E. These Special Marines, the key men in the boot camp process. The drill instructors. You know, the DI is a truly dedicated, sensitive Marine. He demanded much of your sons while patiently teaching your sons. Among other things, to brush their teeth, to wipe behind their ears, and to properly make up their rack. Now, hey, Mom, it only took us 11 weeks to get to do that. So the DI, who is willing to sacrifice his own limited spare time to help your son who is in danger of falling behind. And it's the DI that was willing to forego a weekend with his family to remain with your son and that platoon. You know, he is instinctive and keen to counsel and to encourage and defend an errant recruit because he is a member of that platoon. In short, the DI is the essence of the tough, resolute, compassionate, professional leader whose behavior is the mortar that binds every successful Marine unit together. It was your son's DI, whose unselfish devotion to his task, that catalyzes the whole Marine recruit training process. And what he did with your son will likely influence his behavior for the rest of his life. Just ask any former Marine. And I know as parents you can appreciate the tremendous sacrifices both they and their families have made in order for your son and your family to arrive at this proud and very special moment. So I'm going to ask you to show your appreciation by a rousing applause for the DIs of Company E. Serious professional unit. The second thing the American people believe is that we're dramatically and decisively successful. Not most of the time, but all of the time. And the third thing the American people believe about you and I as Marines is that our Corps is downright good for the country. That we are the masters of a process which converts unoriented youth into proud, self-reliant citizens. Citizens into whose hands the nation's affairs may safely be entrusted. These are strong reasons, Marines. They are honest, they are deep-rooted, and they are above question or criticism. So long as they exist, So long as the American people are convinced that we, you and I, can continue to do these three things that I have mentioned, we will continue to have a Marine Corps. So there it is. The challenge isn't over. It is just beginning. Resolve right now that you will continue to strengthen your belief in your God, in your country, in your Corps, in your fellow Marines, but most of all, in yourself as a Marine. Learn to think beyond the moment and to live beyond the day. And I will assure you that our Corps will continue with its great heritage intact. And finally, I extend my very best wishes for your continued successes, and may God speed Semper Fi, Marines. Just one more thing. I want to welcome you again to Parris Island. And like I said, it's your support that got those three Marines through. Continue to support them, moms and dads, and I promise you, they'll be a better Marine. Thank you.
Presenting the awards today is Lieutenant Colonel Christopher. He is accompanied by Sergeant Major Ronald Featherson, the Sergeant Major of the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion, and First Sergeant Stephen Seitler, the First Sergeant of Company E. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Christopher will now present the awards. Please hold your applause. And Company E is Robert Hamilton III from Clearwater, Florida. Lance Corporal Hamilton was recruited by Sergeant Shire and trained by Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Rutan. The Honor Graduate for Platoon 2066 is William Craig from Lawrence, South Carolina. PFC Craig was recruited by Staff Sergeant Cooper and trained by Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Childs. The Marines in today's color guard are Sergeant Ronald Wallace, color bearer for the national colors, and Sergeant Aaron Norwood, color bearer for the organizational colors. The rifle bearers are Corporal Robert Bricker and Lance Corporal Cedric Carruthers from the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion. nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with the slogan, once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. We ask that those men and women in the audience who have served in the United States Marine Corps please rise. General Mutter was commissioned as second lieutenant upon graduating from Northern Colorado University in 1967. In addition to holding a Bachelor of Science degree in Mathematics Education, General Mutter has attained a Master of Science degree from Sal Regina College in 1985 and a Master of Arts degree in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Naval War College in 1985. General Mutter has served in a variety of billets, to include Project Officer for the Marine Corps Air Command and Control System at Marine Corps Tactical Systems Support Activity, Camp Pendleton, California. Financial Management Officer at the Development Center, Quantico, Virginia. Assistant Chief of Staff, Comptroller, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing, Okinawa, Japan. Deputy Comptroller at Headquarters, Fleet Marine Force, Atlantic, Norfolk, Virginia. Deputy Program Manager and then Program Manager for the development of a new Marine Corps pay and personnel systems for active duty, retired, and reserve Marines. In July of 1988, General Mutter joined the U.S. Space Command Operations Directorate, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Qualified as a basic space officer, she initially served as a Command Center Crew Commander, Space Director, and then as Chief of the Division, responsible for the operation of the Commander-in-Chief's Command Center. In August of 1990, General Mutter transferred to the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force on Okinawa, Japan, serving as the Assistant Chief of Staff Comptroller and was selected for promotion to Brigadier General. In June of 1991, she became the Deputy Commanding General, Marine Corps Systems Command at Quantico, Virginia, also serving as the Program Manager for Marine Air Ground Task Force Command and Control. On June 25, 1992, she assumed command of the 3rd Force Service Support Group 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force, U.S. Marine Forces Pacific. Upon advancement to her present grade in June of 1994, General Mutter assumed the command of the Marine Corps Systems Command, Quantico, Virginia. General Mutter's personal awards include the Defense Superior Service Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, and the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal. Major General Mutter is ready. Thank you. Please be seated. During the passenger review, you are reminded to rise as the national colors pass before you. After they have passed, you may be seated. First Lieutenant Michael Holmes and his graduating Marines. Drill Instructor Platoon 2069, Sergeant Daniel B. Strike. He is assisted by Drill Instructors Staff Sergeant Harry Walden, Sergeant Sean Anderson, and Sergeant Richard Costello.
It's his turn.
The platoon guidons that are about to be retired have been the identification flags of each platoon throughout recruit training. To each, the guidon is a symbol of spirit, dedication, teamwork, and unit identity. Ladies and gentlemen, refreshments will be served behind the reviewing stand immediately following the ceremony. Please rise for the Marines hymn and the final dismissal.
Which one of you guys going down? Zip it up.
All right, Andy, for 10.
What? You done?